Binge the full week ad-free over at patreon.com/inspired disorder.
What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of Swipe Up, the 143rd episode of the show, where I share some posts from Instagram that I think are fun, interesting, I want to share, talk about, comment on. Let's get it started. So, recently, Juneteenth, recent new federal national holiday, I guess you'd call it, national holiday, Juneteenth, June 19th. The date of which slavery was abolished, I believe is correct. I literally did not learn about Juneteenth until last year, when all of the protests were going on, and that's just how horrible our history is in this country. The things that we are not taught in school are things like Juneteenth. Like very important dates where huge portions of the population were at least stopped in some ways being treated like property. In a lot of ways still are. But that neither being here nor there, this first post is an amazing assortment of photos that changes this perspective. Actually, it's called Changing Perspective is the title of this series. And it is, I mean, the first photo you have, a bunch of white dudes chained up as slaves, and two black men as the slave. They look like they're the ones looking after this, and they're two black dudes looking after these white slaves, really flipping, basically photos that you would see in reverse racial order from back in the day, but when literally seen changed, of course, the getting the manicure and pedicure done by white women, and then all the Asian women who are stereotypically the ones that work in those places are the ones being treated. It's like it's flipping all of the things. The wet nurse, is that what they're called? Which they use slaves as wet nurses. One of the women, to feed all the rich white babies. And then this one, the last one, with the girl in the store, and the shelves are full of dolls that are all black dolls, and she is a little white girl. And it's, that's when you go, I mean, stores, toys now are a little bit more racially diverse, I think, but not until recently, and still not to the level of it being a appropriate or an equal percentage to actual population. But amazing. One thing that these photos made me, especially that last one with the white girl in looking at all the black dolls, it reminded me of the end scene in what's that movie called? It's A Time to Kill. Matthew McConaughey is a defense attorney defending Samuel L. Jackson, who murdered these white supremacist kids who got away with raping and murdering his black daughter. It's an amazing movie, but there's the closing statements by Matthew McConaughey's character. He's telling the story of the events that happened to Samuel L. Jackson's daughter. Brutal, how they, just everything that they did, like drug her from the back of the car, strung her up, raped her, all these things. Like, he's going through beat by beat everything that happened. And then at the very end, he's like, now imagine she's white, right? Because all these people are just imagining, who probably have racial biases, especially back then. I mean, racism is still prevalent in 2021 in this country, now more apparent than ever. I mean, they're very vocally racist nowadays. But back then, it was kind of, everybody was, the majority of people were on some level racist in a lot. I mean, culturally, it was like acceptable. It was just the cultural norms to have these racist opinions and ideas. But he's like, at the very end, now imagine she's white. And it's like, it's the only way he's ever going to communicate to those people in the jury that to imagine just a black girl being a white, just that there's equality, that black people and white people, everybody of every race, we're all human beings. The fact that we have different levels of melanin in our skin is not a differentiator of the kind of respect and rights that anybody should have in the country. So that scene, I remember when I was, a teenager watching A Time to Kill, which is an amazing movie. But to see that scene, it'd be like, it blew my mind. I was like, oh, it's perfect. It's really a great way to communicate. And growing up, like, just by virtue of growing up and who I was raised by, like, I had racist tendencies, like things that I would say and do that I wouldn't think to be racist, but clearly are. Like, thankfully, as I've gotten older in my years, I have grown and evolved as a human being and changed my opinions and realized that things that I did and things that how I acted and said and those things shouldn't be done. That, like, just, and it's, little things. Some people don't change as they grow. Some people just get older and still have the same beliefs that they had when they were 5 or whatever. Thankfully, I'm not perfect, but that is what this post made me think. And I feel that I'm a huge fan that Juneteenth is a national holiday. Doesn't really change a lot of things. At least it gives, it's actually kind of funny that it fell right before Father's Day. Like, all the white supremacist fathers are like extra celebrating. Probably they took the whole weekend. Like, there's some white girl, who takes a birthday month. But anyway, let's move on. Those are amazing photos. It's fire season, people. There's already been fires. It's also been hot as fuck. It's been like 120 degrees most of the week. It's ridiculous. Just air conditioner all the time. Internet, tons of problems with the internet. It just goes out all the time. Thankfully, electricity hasn't gone out. Knock on wood or whatever. But yeah, been hot. So obviously fires are going to be a big thing. I live in a desert, so not a whole lot of fuel for fires. They've never been close, but as far as anywhere else, like just going west at all, you start seeing a lot more fuel for the fires. And yeah, kind of scary, man. We'll see what happens. It is what it is. I don't have anything amazing or funny to say about fires other than it is fire season again. So, I mean, the air quality is probably not going to be good. So wearing a mask outside might help your lungs avoid all of the things that are burning in the air that probably aren't good for you. Or you can be stupid and act like you're training your lungs because they're so strong yet so weak. Anyway, let's move on to a very strong person individually. This is a photo taken by a comedian, Diet J. J Light is his name, which is a funny Instagram title. But it's a car. What kind of car is that? It's like a. You can't really see. It looks like the symbol. It looks like a Civic, like a modified, like Honda Civic or something like that, or maybe a Corolla. But the real feature of this car, it's a black painted black car, and it's got the spoiler on it and like the cool ground effects bumper, whatever. But across the bumper, in lettering that had to have been. It's not a sticker. These are decals and giant letters telling everybody. I mean, it's the easiest thing to read on the back of this car. So anybody behind this car in traffic, I'm sure this picture was taken in L.A. somewhere. But the driver of this car wants everybody to know, not only that, hey, I like to drive fast, or I like to look like I drive fast. Maybe there's stickers on there that are like, hey, I'm not really sponsored by these brands, but I can afford to buy their decals and put them on my car. Like I'm a sponsored race car driver. But that, aside from those things that I'm telling just about my car and the things on my car, the big thing in big letters written across the bumper that I want everybody behind me to know is that I eat ass. That's what I need people to know, which I can appreciate. I mean, out of all of the things I've seen written on the back of cars recently, you have this guy that obviously loves to eat ass, which would imply he loves sex. He's not hung up on a lot of things sexually. He enjoys. Everybody's got an asshole. We don't know the sexuality. Straight, bi, gay, could be all everything. Pansexual. There's a million different kinds. And he could be, I don't even know gender. They could be, right? This could be a woman who also loves to drive fast. Women love to drive fast too. I've seen Fast and the Furious. There's females in those movies. They love to drive fast. This could be a woman. I don't know. I've seen dogs drive. Maybe it's a dog. Dogs love to sniff ass. Licking is right. They love to lick their own. Could be a dog, right? I don't know. We don't know. But whoever is driving loves for everybody to know that they eat ass versus somebody who is a delusional person. Like the crazy people have just there's no boiling it down into a 3-word kind of phrase that can encapsulate your daringness to dive in and potentially get an illness of some sort. They have books printed on the back of their vehicles, some, there's your regular kind of people that have, the sticker, I got family, there's maybe a baby on board sign. But the crazy ones, the mentally ill people, the people that probably shouldn't be driving in the first place, sometimes it'll be, decaled on, lettering that's maybe 2 inches tall, filling the entire back of the vehicle. Just 3 pages of the Bible just printed all out. They couldn't pick out special lines. It's just the whole thing. They just run on sentences, poor punctuation, just fit it all in. They're trying to ace the book report way later. Hopefully their old teacher is behind them in traffic. That is an insane person. The step more insane than those people are the people that just tape laminated pieces of paper with ideas and thoughts, and they're all right-wing, religious. They're all crazy. It's all the right-wing, religious, or conspiracy people. They will just all of their I don't know if they feel smart to have a lot of words on the back of their car or what, but it's I generally take the more words on the back of your car, the fewer brain cells you have within your brain, your head. You have a diminished amount of gray matter, and you're compensating in the worst way possible. You should have put that energy into your book report back in middle school, not as a middle-aged Republican. But yeah, shout out to that person, whoever you are in the world. Keep eating ass and taking names. I appreciate you. Last but not least, Palm Springs, where I live tangentially, is open, as is everything. And, Palm Springs is a big vacation spot this time of year. Not many people, because it's been 120 degrees, as I said. There's a Splash House, which is a music festivals, DJ pool party thing, which I think they're doing this year. It tends to get busy for that. There are a few things going on throughout the summer, but in general, the touristy stuff, there's not a lot of people coming into town. There's a lot of the population in the valley are people that have second homes out here, so they come out here to live for the winter times. they avoid summer, they go back to wherever it's cold, and then they leave. Like, it's people with enough money to afford two homes. But yeah, I don't know. Palm Springs is open. Woo! I'm happy for that. I haven't gone out and done anything, so I'm not participating yet. Palm Springs might be open, but I'm not looking to go anywhere at the moment. But I'm glad that things are where they are. Hopefully things don't turn around in the wrong direction, like a variant or something like that the vaccines don't work for. But who knows? Hopefully the current president will have safeguards in place this time to avoid, maybe shut things down before they get so bad. I can't imagine where we would be if Trump was still president. Because a lot of people did vote for Trump, and they did try in every way possible to steal the election, and now they're complaining that it was stolen, which is hilarious. But I can't imagine where we would be today if Trump was president. Like, we would not be opening. There would easily be 1,000 people, 1,000. Oh, that would have been amazing. 1 million people for sure would be dead right now. For sure. I mean, I think we're probably over 600,000 at the moment. And if Trump was still around, it would have been horrible. There would be stories about, like, just tons of vaccines just being thrown away. And it would be some scam so that, pharmaceutical companies would be able to make more money or whatever. It would have been some stupid reason, just waste and just mismanagement. But whatever. He's not there, and things aren't moving in the right direction fast enough. But at least it's better than it would have been. So yeah, Palm Springs open. Let me do some shout outs and we'll get out of here. Shout out to Art_Magazine. Shout out Chris Buck, Greg Simu. Shout out NBC Palm Springs Fire, Diet J, Desert Sun, Photog J, and most importantly, shout out to you. Get yourself some amazing coffee over at stationhousecoffee.com and follow Station House Coffee on Instagram. Order yourself some small batch, single origin, premium coffee brewed in Thetford Center, Vermont, and shipped directly to you. So head on over to stationhousecoffee.com and order your coffee today, and follow Station House Coffee on Instagram. New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on IGTV, YouTube, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Binge the full week ad-free over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com, and follow the show on Instagram at Ray Taylor Show. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!